Look at how many, look at how far you have to scroll to get to groups. I feel like they need to put groups on top because there's so many people here. And then it like resets your group, even if you've been in World a while, it like shoots it back down here. Oh, I don't want to hear myself. Run! No! Oh my gosh, I can't hear myself. Get out of here. Get out. Okay. That was scary. Let's let's do this. Turn our music, turn our sound down. I can't hear myself. No way. That was scary. I think I think Sinful and I just go through the world pretending like we talk, but we our sound is not out there for anyone to hear. Okay, that's better. Um, yeah, so it's so hard, or not hard, but just gonna. I wish it was a little easier to find your groups. I also need music, but I don't have music. I don't have copyright-free music. Whoa, look at my spotlight. It's like lined up on the screen. I'm so meta. I see myself seeing myself, seeing myself, seeing myself. Forever. I used to have a mirror like that in my bathroom when I was a kid, and so I would just like my brother and sister and I would play, and we would just like see each other like forever and ever and ever. We thought it was the coolest thing, like another dimension. Let's see. Come join me for Build a Basic blah blah blah. Mount Mana. MP badge. All right. It's so nice to be someplace new for just like 3 weeks. Because then after that, I know I'm going to be like, oh, I want to go back, play more. These pants by Mary. Those are so cute. She really did a good job. And there's an OP badge. Hello, hello, Mary. Buenos dias, Maddie. There's an OP badge over here to claim. I gotta rotate this thing. I got it this far. I got it up here. Like, I know it seems simple, but hauling it all the way up here in code, I was so proud of myself. Like, I don't code, so I guess now I do code. I at least can put the dispenser in, and that was cool. All right, let's see. Looks like we're good. Almost time. 2 more minutes. And Mary, hope you're doing well today. Okay. All right, 1 second. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to jump off that screen to get my other screen up here. There are so many screens. There's so many parts to this scene. It was so big. All right. I'll start in just a second, but until then, I'm just gonna look at we use the camera to look at the snow. I freaking love this snow. It's definitely a snowstorm. Um, there's way more snow up here than there is down there. Because I was like, oh, I don't want it to be like a blizzard and everybody's dancing and they actually can't see. But you know what? Now that everybody has seen this scene, oh my gosh, what is going on with that chat? Whose chat is blowing up? Okay. Sorry, I don't know how to shut the chat down. Let me see. Let me see. There's got to be a way. Maybe just everything. Everything goes down. Hopefully that'll do it. I should actually just load this place up with snow, like the right here in the base area, so that it's a snowstorm. Because now everybody's seen it like normal, and so they'll come in and be like, "Geez, what has happened here?" Because you can kind of tell there's less. Yeah, see, there's some places right here where there's no snow at all, and then if you get up here, oh, I crashed. Okay, hold on. I think I was moving too fast through the snow, so I'll be right back. I think you'll still be able to hear me though. Let's see. I'm just watching my screen. Okay, so that is probably the consequence of a giant scene. I'm guessing that's maybe why I crashed. I don't know. But there's more moving parts up above, like more snow. There were a few things that I did. Oh, there we go. I love that drop. I love it. Hey, 13. All right. I should be back. Let me just check that everybody can hear me. Sin knows a lot more about streaming and stuff, so I don't know. Maybe I've been like kicked out of that Blue Lagoon, but okay, so now we've got people showing up. Fancy 13 son. So now they won't hear our plan, but forecast is calling for snow, you guys. All right, let me see if I can do this. I think I can. So I put less snow down here, but it does kind of come through in waves, and then I was like, you're getting cooked up here. And you know, that's pretty normal because like usually if this was like a real snowstorm, let me see if I can zoom out, you know, it's going to hit the mountain and it's going to come over the mountain, usually to like drift in some places. And so it's totally appropriate. Like if this was a real mountain scene, yeah, like there would be more snow going way up high. It's kind of fun. Oh, there's somebody else. I love seeing people spawn in from up above. Here's a good spot where you can see what I did with the snow. See how it's moving as a chunk? Like right there. Now it all kind of mixes together. You can't see it as much. Actually, if you watch it, you might start getting nauseous, so don't look too careful. Because they're all spinning. And when I first started making, you know, there's another one. Actually, this is really fun. I should just make a viewing platform up here so that everybody can just watch people spawn in. But you can really see how I made this, I think. Sometimes better than others. So when I first started making like precipitation, like rain or snow, I kind of made it start at the top and go down. And that's very logical for rain. I mean, unless you're in a hurricane, then it's going to go sideways. Rain starts at the top, goes down. But snow is very different. Like good snow, I mean, sometimes it'll do that because it's just coming down so fast. I live in the mountains, and so like, I mean, one time we got 48 inches in 30 hours or something. It was insane. But usually snow is gonna do this. That's a really pretty one right there. You can kind of see it's just swirling. And I think that, like, you know, what people are saying, like, oh, I like the snow. I think that swirling effect is what makes it kind of magical. When I did this scene at first, all of the snow was on one loop. So it would start at like keyframe 1, and then it would stop at keyframe 300. And so all of the snow would start and stop at the same time. So it was very obvious that this was not real. So like, I guess I would challenge, see if you can see the point where the snowflakes disappear. Because like right there, I just saw some disappear. Here, I see a bunch coming in. It's like a flurry. Oh, I saw a little skip right there. So some of these animations, I made like a really nice clean loop. Oh, I was like, what the heck is that? So, all right, so like that's probably the breeze that's coming through. So some of these, the animation's actually bigger than the mountain. If I'm in the base area, like down here, I feel like this is the point where you can see the snowflakes stop and disappear. I'm gonna wait for it. Do I see it? Do I see it? I think you're always more critical of, yeah, right there. Okay, that's where it happened. So that was like a sloppy loop that I should have done better. And I'm, when you're a creator, you're gonna see all the flaws, and probably I should just like not point out all the flaws, so then people can be like, oh, it's cool. And now that I pointed it out, everybody's gonna be like, yep, that's the part she said didn't work. Um, yeah, but that's okay. That's what we're here for. So I see people coming in. Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. Today, so I do these classes every Tuesday. Today I'm going to be like kind of breaking down some of the pieces of like how I made this build. If you are a new builder and you want to build in Decentraland, please go find my YouTube channel. It's so weird to try to promote myself, but my kids will think I'm cooler if I have like a bunch of YouTube subscribers. So I have 71 subscribers. I'm kind of a big deal now. Mr. Beast, better watch out. But I'm kidding. I'm kidding. On my YouTube channel though, that is where you can find some of the tutorials from the very beginning. So like if you've never built at all, you can find my intro to the Creator Hub. And then if you've had a little bit of experience, I also have like an intro to Blender. And then if people have any like questions, feel free to ask them. If I'm going through this, I might not see the questions until the end. But I really want to, let's see, there was a good quote about a gatekeeper, but like I want to be a bridge builder, not a gatekeeper. And so that's why I'm trying to share everything of how I do it, because, you know, people shared it with me. Shout out to Rustan. He's taught me like most everything I know, and then other people along the way. So, all right, so I'm going to keep going. I'm going to show you one other part of my snowflakes, and then I'm going to dive into the Blender file. Over here, I believe you'll be able to see what I did with the snowflakes to try to keep them from having that loop that I talked about. They should come over here and then get small and then zip back. So, yeah, all right, let's watch these guys. I'm going to look for something that gets small and then like goes back fast. I don't know if I'll see it. I could see it from far away, so these actually are like disappearing into the nether over there. But that was one way I thought I could do it, is like you won't see the break in animation if I do it that way. These actually just look great because they're just disappearing. So that might have been a bunch of work for nothing. But you can see how now there's not snowflakes coming through. And then that one changed direction ickily. So I'm going to jump over to Blender now. Let's see, let me get my file going. Snow. Oh my gosh, I had so many different snows. So here we go. And Blender. So this is what the snow looks like. It's like a cloud. And I know there's probably easier ways to do this. People are like, did you use particles in Blender? And I don't know how to do particles. I'm not there yet. And these are little planes. So like if you're new to Decentraland and building, you want to try to build without using too many triangles. And when I first started, I was like, I don't know, there's no triangle in here. I don't see a single triangle. So it's like a dirty word that doesn't actually describe something here, but it means like how many edges there are. So if I would have made each one of these a real snowflake, that would have been so huge, like that file. This is like one way to make it small. There's probably better ways that I could use to make it small. To see how many triangles and everything you're at, come up here to the overlay. I don't know what any of the technical names are, so I'm always just going to call it like doodads. But then go to statistics. This right here is super important, especially if you're going to make wearables or emotes. You have to know what your triangles are at. So for this entire cloud, I'm at 2,328 triangles. That's not bad, like, at all. And now you can see what I did to it. I just like twisted it around, but you can kind of see it's like there's some patterns. Like if you look closely, I don't know, you can kind of see there's like a gap in between there. And I'll show you how I made it. Like, we'll just make a new one really quick. I'll save that. All right, so I'm going to start with a new scene. First thing I always do, select it all, X, delete it. And now I'm going to add a plane. I'm just going to do Shift A. I'm going to add a plane. And then I want to know how many triangles this is. So I'm going to go back up to the two circles, statistics. And look, this little plane has 2 triangles. Because it actually, has less than a cube. If I do the same thing and I add a cube, just to compare, this cube has 12 triangles. So if I flatten it, because this is how I used to make stuff. I was like, oh, a cube doesn't have that many triangles. And like, they look identical, right? But this guy has 2 triangles, this guy has 12. So the plane is just, literally it's a sheet of paper. This would be like a sheet of metal because it's got this extra little face here. So we're gonna get rid of that. We're gonna make this sheet, or this little whatever. This is a snowflake. We're gonna make it tiny, and this is how I made the snow. I just started with 1. This is actually, I love this part. This is super fun. Once I have selected it, I do Shift D, and now I have 2. And I want to start moving them because I want them to be like different. I don't want them to look similar. And now I'm going to highlight both of them. I'm going to Shift D to copy them again. And I'll move them up there a little bit. Bloop. Doesn't matter. I'm just going to start doing that. So it's just like repeating. Like now I've got 8. 8 plus 8 is 16. I might make them go up a little bit. 16 plus 16 is 32. This is how I used to put myself to sleep. I would just like, 32 plus 32 is 64. I'm still moving them because if I don't keep them like moving organically, they'll look all the same at the end. I could even like resize if I did Shift S. No, S. Just S. Don't Shift S. I hate that thing when I do the wrong thing. Uh-oh, look at that. Look at that. That's horrible. So you can see I'm like random, but then they're all lined up. What the heck? Why did that happen? I don't know why that happened. So I'm just gonna like start moving these things so that there's no like pattern that you can see, because sometimes when you're just duplicating stuff like that, that might happen. All right, so now at this point you can start making your cloud really big, but I'm still gonna randomize it because that's why you can kind of see patterns in my snow flurry. I feel like Olaf, if anybody knows Olaf. All right. Oops. So like you can see patterns. Look at that. Like where they all line up. That's where I think your secret is going to be revealed. Somebody's going to be like, "Wait." And the brain picks up on that stuff, I think. Okay, I have like a really elongated snow flurry. So at this point, duplicate it one more time. I'll probably like rotate it just a little bit more, and now I have like a nice big snow flurry. Oh, guys, oh my gosh, I forgot to give them a good texture. Okay, so That sucks. I think I would have to go through and add the color hand by hand on all of those. Yeah, I don't know how to get a color on all of them. So you know what? We're just gonna pretend like they're not gray. But this is like this is, there's a little bit of pollution in this snow cloud. Yeah, that's what it is. All right, so, but it looks pretty organic. I think it looks more natural than my other cloud. All right, and there we are. We have 2,048 triangles, but one thing that I'm gonna do, because when you use a bunch of planes, you actually use a bunch of bodies. Like I thought planes were, and when I say plane, it's Plane. I thought they were gonna just like save me from all my triangle woes. They are not. With the grass last year for the Easter egg hunt, I used a lot of planes, and then I tried to put them in the build, and it's like, no, too many bodies. And so I'm like, doggone it. I fixed my triangle problem, and I created a different problem. So it doesn't always make it better. One thing that will help with loading your build, though, because all of these little guys, you can click and click and click. They're all separate. Like, I could still move these, get them, you know, if I wanted to make sure that I have, like, nice, wild, organic shape, I could do that. But eventually, I want to join them into one. And one thing that I found, that once you join them to one, I don't know, like, if you join them and then you save it, I don't know how to undo that in the future. And especially with emotes, it can come back and bite me when I'm like, I just want to change one thing, and like you have to cut it apart. So if this was a file I really was in love with and spent a lot of time, I'd want to save this right now the way it is, like not joined together, and then keep working, but I always have like a unjoined copy. But we're good. We're good. We're going to keep going. So to join it, I'm going to select all, make sure my cursor's over it, right key, right key, and then hit join. And what that's going to do is now, instead of having like one little snowflake that I can move around, this thing is going to move as a group. It's also, when you load it into the Creator Hub, it's going to see this as one thing. So instead of rendering like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like thousands of little snowflakes, it's just rendering one snow cloud, if that makes sense. And wherever your cursor is, that's where the center point is, where you're going to rotate it around, which it's kind of cool, like if it's not right in the middle, because then, you know, it's going to rotate around that. The shape is pretty symmetrical, so that's fine, but if it's kind of on the right, so it might look like it's being weird. So I probably, just for the sake of doing this, would right click and then set the origin to the middle of the mass, because that's usually going to put it right here. And then that way, if I do rotate it, it's just kind of centered. So there you go. That's like, your snow cloud is mostly done. But I'm going to show you what, in my opinion, makes a snow cloud look really good. Animation, guys, it's so easy. We gotta start telling ourselves it's easy. Because it is, I think, especially for this. What I'm gonna do is move it to where I want it to start, and I'm gonna have the snow go from this side over here. So I'm gonna move it over this side. Scrolling over this, I'm just going to hit I, and that puts in your keyframe. And then I'm just gonna say, okay, where do I want it to stop? Oh, sorry, should have done this first. Move your keyframe first. See, I did that wrong. Move your keyframe first, then move your snow cloud, hit I again. And now you have a beautiful snow cloud that's just going to keep doing this. It's going to loop, it's kind of going slow, but it is going to pop back right at the end, which, you know, that's the part that like your viewers would see and they'd be like, oh, okay, I see exactly what you did there. And snow doesn't just magically disappear like that. But we don't want it to just like plow through people. We want it to look beautiful. So what I would do is think like from keyframe 1 to the end, I would put a little, I don't know, is this lateral? I'd put like a little lateral spin. Spin it that much, eye, and then that's all you got to do to start getting that coolness, that like beautiful wispiness. Especially if you get your camera real close in it. Ah, okay, that's kind of like crazy. But it just has that beautiful like flurry effect. I think these are kind of like too dense, actually. If I did this again, I'd want them a little spread out. All right, so that's part one of how to make your snowflakes look totally amazing. Part two is to just add another batch of snowflakes. And so we've got our, our keyframes down here. I can just Shift D to duplicate this. It's still there, but it's duplicating the keyframes and everything. So I just need to find a way to make the second one. Let's do click over here. I might want to start the second one. Why is it doing that? Okay. Wait. Oh, I hit it. That's why. There we go. Okay, so the second one at the beginning. Now, if I move anything, it's going to just zap that away to the same keyframe. So there's like a moment where you kind of have to just be like, all right, I'm going to put it here. I'm going to put a few changes in it. And then I'm going to hit I to put a keyframe, even though like 53 isn't where we want it to start. I'm going to go over here, delete that keyframe, and then put my 53 right here at the beginning. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. So you have them starting at the same time, but since the keyframe over here is the end, they're going to end in the same exact spot. And I don't want to do that. Right now I can just delete that. So since I see where the first flurry goes, I'll probably just put them somewhere similar. This is the cool thing. You don't even have to like put 1,000% effort into animating it. Oops, that would not look good. It's the animation. It's gonna kind of do it on its own. All right, so now you've got two of these, and like they're super condensed, so they're close together. But when you get two of these moving independently, that's when I think the magic happens. And sorry, like it's actually like really weird to look at it up close. But I would say if you're gonna do something like this, start with two. And actually, you know what I'm gonna do is make this, let's see. Let's put it a little bit further. Let's end him there. And then if you've been here before, you probably know how to change kind of the way that these animations behave as they're moving along. So you can highlight everything, hit A to get your keyframes, and then T brings all of these fun things. Right now I think we're on Bezier, which means we're slow at the beginning, we get faster, and then we slow down at the end. So it really looks like, you have a clear start, clear middle, clear stop. And that works really good for some things, but like if it's an animation where you want it to be like, oops, sorry, I don't know why I did that there. Where you want it to be like natural, go with linear. Because linear is going to give you that it's not stopping. That's what all the chairlifts are. Like everything else is linear because it shouldn't slow down at a certain point. It's just going to keep going at the constant speed. So then you can put these in your build. I'm going to jump over to the Creator Hub. Let's see. I'm going to go back over here for a second. Let's open the Creator Hub. And oops. Hopefully you guys can see as you're like now, I don't know, use the camera in Decentraland, like look around and see if you can see some of the like direction that I might have used for that. Because like once you know how it's done, you're like, oh, okay, cool. Like there's some up here that are just turning in a circle. I'm like, what about like a slight hurricane flurry. Like I could deal with a flurry. Maybe a slight flurry. All right. Actually, we have not gotten much snow this year, so I think I could deal with any kind of snow. Any snow at all right now would be wonderful. Okay, so here we go. Sorry, I know the screen went blank. I'm going to go into the Creator Hub and show you now how it looks. This scene, you guys, this scene, the reason I want to go behind the scenes on this is because this thing is a mammoth. This is a giant scene. This is the biggest scene I've ever done, and for that reason, there's a lot that could have gone wrong. Like, you can actually see right here, this sucker's out of bounds. Even though technically it's in bounds, for some reason, there's this boundary box all over there, which I don't know why it's like that. But I'm really glad it worked, because it was the day of the event and it was working like that. I'm like, this is not gonna go well. But then I checked and it was deployed, so I was like, well, I'm not gonna tell anybody if you guys don't tell anybody. I did learn a lot with this build though. Like, one of the things is that I've built it in pieces, so that's why the villages have this boundary box around it, but not this, because they're two different pieces. I can move this to the left. I might just show you the snowflakes before I do that, because once I start touching things in here, the lag is unreal. I honestly don't know if I would try to build a scene bigger than this ever. Like, I mean, of course I will. Of course I will. What am I saying? But the chances of it failing are super high. All right, so here on the left side, you can see all of the snow that I brought in. So snow GLB2, snow GLB3, snow 3. These are all my snows. So like if I duplicate that and then bring it up, you can see it's actually easier if I do it like that. That's the snow. So you can see this is as high as I could get it right there. And then I could maybe change the direction it's gonna go, make it go, like sideways. I tried to get all of the snow to go from the north side of the scene to the south, because it would be weird if it was like going, back and forth. That would not, I mean, maybe a little bit normal, but that'd be too chaotic. I think it would have been very easy to be chaotic. This guy I'm going to put back, though. I don't know what it's going to look like later. I don't think it's going to show up that much. But yeah, you just start putting your snow on the scene, and you can kind of see right here, most of the snow flurries are in the middle. Not as many over here, just because the boundary box would have been out of the way. Okay, so this is the scene, and you can see it's now I'm like, why the heck did I even try this, you guys? This is such a poor, like, it has such a low chance of success, because I have a piece of parcel of land here, and then it goes in, and then out here, up, right, and then it lands here. But look at what's happening, because actually, like, I kind of need to talk to Foundation about this, because it shouldn't have happened like this. This part of the land goes out into the neighbor's property. Luckily, the neighbor is Hayabusa. It's also Sinful's land, so not a problem. But it will be a problem when the ice rink is there. Actually, I should go check that. I might have to move this a little bit. But then right here, it comes off the scene. Right here. Sorry, it's going fast. Right there. But the big aha that I did not know it was possible, sorry, let me get out, was how much it's cutting all over the scene right here. It's legit. It's frozen. Okay, so this is what happens if I click on that asset. I'm gonna lag out super hard. I would not be surprised if it just quits, but we'll try to. This is why this scene was such a pain. Like, to move it, this is how fast I go. I like just moved my screen, so we'll see how soon it catches up. Because that thing is so heavy. Alright, I just moved my screen again. And so to make fine-tune adjustments, this is how absolutely frustrating it is on this size of a scene. If I wouldn't have split these pieces up, I would never have been able to do this. Alright, I'm still waiting on it to move. I'm trying to make the camera look down, which is kind of why I was like, you know what, if it works, I'm going to deal with it later, because really right now the best thing I could do is just close it out and come back, or click on something else, because if I'm clicked on this heavy scene, it seems to really bug it. So I'll try to click on the snow, and now I can move, you know, a little bit, move my viewport around. But yeah, that's why like a lot of the stuff over here is really not the way you should do it. But yeah, look at this. It's like all the way out over Metareef's land. And when you're on the scene, it actually shows you being on somebody else's land. And that should not happen. So yeah, the alternative is to like move this in, which I will do, but still true. I wish I knew why it was doing that. Alright, so anytime I have to move my scene, it's a big pain in the butt and it takes forever. So that's why I put it in here in different parts. And that I think is really important, because it doesn't matter if you have a giant scene or a small scene. To my knowledge, you're allowed 50 megabytes of data. And so maybe there's a way to see it here, but the way that I see it is if you go and hit publish to land, you don't actually have to publish it, but hit publish one more time. It's going to bring up this screen in just a moment, and then this is where it gives you all of the information of like what you're seeing, like what it has on it. And it's kind of weird because I won't do anything to the scene and it'll be different sizes. Like it'll be different size. Like it'll be 47, then I'll go do it again later, it's 48. So I'm like, well, I didn't change anything. How can it be changing like size? And this one, you know, the bigger scene you have, the longer it takes. Taking a long time. Okay, so here we go. 60 files. Yes, 60 files. It's all that snow, you guys. This is the important part, because for me, I did not know a long time ago when I did the Mardi Gras build, I didn't realize that like once you get to 50, stuff really does start breaking, and it won't tell you that it breaks. It just won't work. Like for the Mardi Gras build last year, it just wouldn't add the last stuff that I was doing. It would kind of just like, it was like, you know, when you have the car ready for a family road trip and you got it all packed and then it's time to go and it just takes off, like it just leaves behind whatever isn't there. So you, like, if you go over that, you'll find things that aren't there and you're like, wait a second, I know I put that in. And it's, I don't know, at least in my experience, it'll just start leaving stuff off. So here you go. You can see what I did. Look at this model of the dispensers. This is the OP badge. So it looks like a lot of this. No, models? Yeah. I don't know if that's all the OP badge. The trees shouldn't be that big. I don't know. So I think I could optimize this more, definitely. But here's the kicker. Like if you're building on one parcel of land, you have a height limit, right? But the more land you build on, the higher you can build. And it's relative. So like you can just keep going forever and ever. If you bought all the land in Genesis Plaza, you could just go all the way up. But with megabytes, if you have one scene, actually no, I think 25. If you're just publishing to like one scene, it's 25. But anyway, it's not the same. Like it doesn't just exponentially grow together. Um, which is kind of a bummer because you need a lot. Either you need a lot of memory or like room, or you need to be a better builder. And I think I need to be a better builder. There were a few assets I put in at the end that were huge, and I'm like, wait a second, like, okay, I think I figured out what I need to do. Okay, so that I just think is really important because if you're gonna start building bigger scenes, keep an eye on that number. Like, it's easier to keep an eye on it way in advance. And like the triangles that I used to worry about, I'll click right here and see what our triangles are. Actually, I'm gonna try to click on something else. So, because if I click on a different piece, it just loads way easier. The triangles, what are the triangles? Okay. Well, actually, I'm under my triangles. Like, I still have way more. But look at the bodies. I think from those snowflakes, materials, textures. But luckily, they don't hold us to this, so I'm not sure. All right. So yeah, if I'm not clicked on one of those giant heavy scenes, I can move my camera around way easier. There. So most of these are, like this is all one GLB. The village is one GLB, the chairlift is one GLB, and then the ski lift is one GLB. And I made it that way because the animation on the ski lift needed to work, and I didn't want to have other animations on the same scene because then it might not work. Okay. So let's go into like how the ski lift was made, because that, I think once you see it, then maybe you can go and try it again and you'll be like, okay, this is how it happened. But first, I want to check in with Decentraland. How are we doing over there? Spitting facts. Haha, yes, 13. Oh my gosh, Fancy, come back after a long break and there's a mountain on your house. Yeah, luckily, Ryuk and I we're friends, and so I know I need to tell him, be like, I know he's been busy and he's been doing stuff, but I need to be like, hey, about your airspace. I mean, it would actually be fun to see how far could I encroach, like, how far would it let me? Because it should not let me at all, and like, the fact that it does is a problem. Complete specs are in the DCL docs. 100 megabytes per name, and then you get more space for holding mana. So I think, does Nufus, are you talking about worlds? Because yeah, worlds are awesome to build in, but again, like I can still lag the worlds out. When I did my Flanders fields, that thing did not want to load because I had thousands of flowers out in the field, and I tried getting really complicated. So, all right, so we're at like our halfway point. If you are a mobile tester, I believe you have mobile testing. So I try to put a reminder there just so that if people need to jump out, they can. But otherwise, let's get into. Let me pull up my ski jump. Open. I haven't opened it for a while because that was like one of the first things that I had to get right. And I was really thinking it was not going to work. And then it worked, and I'm like, really? Okay. I'll take it. All right, so here we go. Ski jump. This is it, my friends. This is the ski jump. So I actually built it on the village scene. But that village scene was so heavy. Like, it was giving me such a pain in the butt time loading it in, because I recycled old scenes. If you remember, like my Oktoberfest build, and then I had a gingerbread winter theme build. That's where all those houses came from. And it saved so much time to just repurpose them. But I think because I built those when I was just starting Blender, I think I might have built them in a really bad way, or like, it might have been thousands of Christmas lights not joined together. I did join them together, but still, it was not good. Um, all right, so here we go. This is how you do a ski jump. This is the part you cannot see in world, and why, like, it's very low tech, I would say. Like, people, you can code, you can do all that stuff. To me, like, moving colliders, they just work, and so that's kind of why I keep it on, just doing something that works. So this is also why when you get to the top of the scene, you're fine here. As soon as you step up, the animation begins, and it's a box that grabs you and takes you down and then takes you up, and then it loops and it goes back. And then it does it again. Why did I do it like that a bunch of times? I could have just made it one. I don't know. I must have had a rhyme and a reason behind it. So there's, let me just get a good view on here. So there might have been advantages depending on where you stood on the platform. I'm going to stop it when it loops around. There we go. Okay, so I would try to emote on it, and like, if you emote while you're going down, it usually stops you. So this is an invisible collider. You can't see it, but then there's colliders underneath it. So like right here on the lip, right there, you can see the other colliders sticking out. And so like the avatar, if you were standing on the lip, that might have stopped you, but then it's just going to push you back. And that's why I have the walls on the side. It can't push you any further than the wall. That wall is going to catch you. But I don't know if people would stop like halfway down. My animation probably cuts through below halfway down. And if it doesn't on that one, you know what I'm realizing? Because I did go fix it. I didn't fix it for that one. Look at right there. So if you ever got stuck, that's why. Because Vanessa did not realize she had 3 loops. I must have come in and fixed this one and not fixed the other. So it just is a matter of like, I need to pull this up. Let's see, right? Okay, right there. Just pull it up, hit I. And then probably like there, pull it up and hit I. I don't want that like collider to show through underneath. And that's it. Oh, one more. Okay, and then if you notice, like, I don't know why I did this, but it is kind of like jumbly. Like right there, you can see it's kind of leaning to the left. I didn't do this on purpose, but I also didn't fix it because I think it adds unpredictability to it, especially at the bottom. Because if you stand in different spots, it might give you a different advantage, depending on like, are you standing on the left or are you standing on the right? So there, you can see it's really like sideways. And then here you go. So the way that like, the way you could win at this and really do well is if you're jumping right at the top. And this is so funny to see it here. So like probably right there, if you were jumping and you cannot see, let me just do this. Like when you're doing it, it's invisible. So you can't see where the top is. Now, after you've seen like what the mechanics look like, I would love to see if people, if it helps them. And then I had it zip down and actually go back up. That's why sometimes you're like, it spawned me back on the top. Yep, that's what it will do. But I wanted it to disappear first so that you usually fall down, not spawn back at the top. Because you're supposed to fall down, not get at the top. But it was kind of nice because that way if you're like, I messed up my jump, you just spawn right back up there. But yeah, that is it. If I wouldn't have had the back I'll wait until it comes up. If I wouldn't have had the back end on that, you would have just slid right off probably. Um, there were people testing on mobile client, and that was one of the things that they said is that like with mobile client, they just kept walking and it didn't quite work the way they thought. Now I'm like, man, I need to change this animation, see if it fixes it. But yeah, if you're gonna do this with moving colliders, make sure your avatar can't get out. Like I almost could have made it a cup, and that would have been good because then you really trap somebody in there. But yeah, it's simple. I mean, it's simple. It works. It is. The downside is, well, for this one, there's no downside because you don't want the collider to show up. You want people to think they are skiing down on their own. However, the gondola and the snowboard are different. Those you want people to think that they are on a snowboard going down the hill. I will open. Let's see. I don't want to save those. Let's see. I'm going to try to open, if I can remember where my files are. Let's see. Oh my gosh. I have way too many. What did I call that? I called that. Oh my gosh. Snowboard. I don't know if I called it. No, I don't think I called it snowboard. But I'll open up the snowboard. Ah, okay, these are the ones that didn't make it into the scene. Ah, because I ran out of like triangles. But I did have snowboards for all of our friends. Okay, so those we will have to wait on and see those at another time in the future. So the snowboard ride though, made very similar if people want to ride it up here. Same thing, it's got a moving collider. Sorry, this is weird. Moving collider, it actually has one on the back because that way I don't slide off. There we go. And then as long as I don't stand on the side of it too much, it'll take me all the way down. I need sound effects. And there's some parts I can speed up, go a little bit different. Watch out for that thing. And then, oh no, I can't stop, I can't stop. Ah! And this is the fun part, you guys. Look at what it does to the avatar. It like crushes them. It's, when I was playing with this, I was like, wow, I've never seen them like mess up an avatar like that before. So I'm sorry if it's dramatic that I ran you right into a tower. The idea was that there were going to be a bunch of different boards to ride, and then you don't know which one you're going on. So I believe in the Creator Hub, there's a different option. If you wanted to have a moving animation where everybody's getting into the same gondola, everybody's seeing the same snowboard, I was a little afraid that the scene just would break if I started messing with it. So everybody sees a different one. In the future, we could go, you know, a different route. But for now, it's just like, I think I needed to play it kind of safe. How are we doing? We got 10 more minutes. All right, I'm going to show you how I made. I think these snowflakes on the ground are so simple and so cute. Let me just get here for a second. I will pull those up. These were like a last minute, literally last minute. I was like, I need more lights, and the party is in 4 hours. What do I do? Yeah, I was like, I needed to do something. So I was like trying a bunch of different things, and that's why I crashed. Okay, I think I crashed, hard crash. Did I hard crash? No. Maybe just a blender crash. All right, I can deal with a blender crash. We'll see. Snowflake there. All right, let's see. I think we're okay. Yeah, it'll take just a second, but I think we'll be back up. Maybe. I will ask if we're crashed. Oh no, we might be a hard crash. This poor computer. I don't know if you guys can still hear me. I will try to get this fixed in just a second, but it might be a bigger crash. Decentraland, let's see. Yeah, I think it crashed us down. I might not be able to fix this. It's like pause. It's timing out. I think my computer's like I can do Blender and I can do OBS, but I can't do those with Decentraland also. So we'll see. I might shut it down and be right back. Shut it down and be right back. All right, we'll see if I can get this going. That was a rough crash. All right. Hello, hello, hello. And we're almost done. We're almost done at time, but I don't want you to leave. I don't want to leave you hanging. So, looks like we're good. I'm just gonna check the screen. Yeah, I think I think Decentraland is like, come on, I cannot do this. Close some tabs. All right, so we're almost done, and thank you everybody for coming. I hope these are helpful. The screen should be getting back going again. All right, the screen is live. All right, so I do want to show you one more thing, and then we're gonna be done for the day. I think I don't know. I think yeah, my poor computer. It's like just stop with the madness. All right, so I want to show you how to do the snowflakes on the ground. I wanted to have like movement in this scene because I love movement. Movement is life. Like we gotta have some movement. Um, and the snowflakes are already pretty, there's a lot of movement there. So I was also like, gosh, I'm hitting the point where this could get overwhelming. So I have the spotlights up above, kind of coming down. And at first they only turned on every minute. And then they didn't, I don't know, it just wasn't enough. So I put those on, but it still wasn't enough. So I was like, I need something on the ground. Um, I'm gonna delete these. So then I was like, oh, snowflakes. Obviously, snowflakes are awesome. I built these in just a few minutes. They're just squares that I was like, all right, I built one of these out and then just copy pasta, copy pasta, copy pasta. So it's a four-sided snowflake because I ran out of room. I know that snowflakes have 6 fractals, but I was like, 2 hours before the party starts, this is gonna be good. so sometimes it's not like a design choice, it's a oh shit, it's gonna go live soon choice. I better figure this out. Okay, so the snowflakes on the ground, I think they look so good. Like I didn't intend for them to look this good, guys. I'm not that good. They happen to look really good with the snow. Because I used emission for the material over here. Like usually you're gonna be like automatically it'll be principled BSDF. And if you get in here, you can start playing with these um, and get some fancy, fancier colors. So if I wanted these to be pink snowflakes, ooh, actually, why didn't I have pink snowflakes? That would have been cool. But I like those deep, like that deep blue. If you turn up the strength a little bit, makes it bright. Maybe not too bright. Okay. Um, so that's cool. And then you'll see the snowflakes on the floor. Some are just getting large and getting small because that's easy. That's just the easiest thing to do. But then I was like, oh, I can make it way cooler. So this is where just knowing like basic keyframes just gonna be so nice for you. So just get your little keyframes all fancy and get them ready to go. Just toggle your cursor over it, select it. I add that keyframe, go to the end, I add another keyframe, and then all you're going to do for this is just actually go in the middle and then like rotate it, I keyframe, and right there you just have like a cool animation that looks like that. And if you want it to look, kind of like it's moving, just make it small, hit I, and now you have one that like rotates and looks and like gets the big and then just slowly goes back down. And I know like before I talked about um, if you hit the T and you're going to look at all of these options. For the snow, I wanted linear because I wanted it to move across the scene really fast. However, for this one, I think Bezier is cooler because it speeds up, then like as it's getting to the like largest height or largest size, it slows down. It kind of is like more natural feeling, I think. Yeah. So that's it. And then if you want, because I wanted them to all look different, and I was running out of time, so um, when I get like if I export this and I get it in world, all I have to do is bloop, flip it that way. Same animation, it's just going to look different to people. So let me see if I can show you what I mean. There we go. Yeah, and Atlantic Sunrise. The blue is really pretty, and they were different. Actually, they're all blue, but compared to that deep blue, the others look white. Um, yeah, that one like pops under the snow, and you can see it's actually like a GLB that I'm clipping into, so it's not even like in the snow. There, so you can see it kind of clip around my foot. But super easy, and like from above, like if this is the first thing you're seeing when you come down, as soon as I did those, I was like, okay, good. Now I'm kind of done. Because the lights I thought were cool, but they weren't quite done. And see, I joined these together before I added texture on that can. And so then I was like, doggone it. I hope nobody notices my untextured cans. I guess they got painted. And then to make them disappear, or at least kind of look like they disappeared, I just shrunk them. So they got real small. They're like big. Because I wanted it to kind of be like, cool people are like when that they like cool people that can code their scene and the lights start from out of nowhere and then they just stop. Well, I'm not that cool person that can code a scene, so I shrink the animations. I just make them go away. So then people are like, "Whoa, who just clicked that button to make the lights start?" And that's the closest I can do it. All right, so that is. Oh, Issa says I love movement too. Oh, and goodness, Act 13 says don't tell me what to do. Yeah, so like, oh yes, Issa, done is always better than perfect. Issa, I wrote that
on my board. When I was a teacher, I literally took one big board and I just wrote done is better than perfect because I had students that were failing because they would not submit their work. And I'm like, you know, you guys like this kid was actually a genius. Like I tested him, his IQ fell into the category of genius. And I'm like, you need to just finish it. So yeah, like if you just get it done. And I always think then I can go back through and like improve it. But the reality is I generally don't go back through and improve stuff until like next year when I put this in. I'll be like, what was I thinking? Like over here, there's something wrong with this building and I built it 3 years ago and there's something weird with the collider. I could not get the collider to work in Blender. And then also like the texturing is kind of weird. So sometimes there's like weird things that happen that you do when it's the best you know how to build at the time, but then in the future, you're like, what did I do that day? Like I have no idea what I did. So in the scene, we're pretty much done on time, but I'll show you a few more animated spots. This one, I want a little bit of like something going through. So I just made that rotate around it. La Cantina just had that kind of like as if it's just, swinging on that. This little enter here we made as part of Builder Basics a while ago. And I thought like, okay, movement will catch their eye and then, helps to point out different things. Let's see. I think that's all the movement we have in here. Okay, this one, okay. This I know is simple and stupid and nobody will notice it but me, but it matters. These are called shivs. And like my friends used to have to climb up these towers and replace them. When you're going through, you always want to listen because sometimes they will get ice on them and then like fall. The chair lifts could fall off. Actually, they look really bad right there. Let me get over here so I can look at them. But this was one part where I was like, I can't do this. When I made them, they were, oops, whoa, sorry. That got a little bit more exciting than it had to be. Okay, so see how they're rotating like this, which is good because this is called the haul rope and it's pulling the haul rope up the hill. But when I made it, these were going reverse. And so it actually it would look like it was pushing the haul rope down the hill. And so that was the last thing on my list right before the party, but I had to make sure that they logically would go the right way because I was like, you know what? Your brain is going to see that something's wrong and nobody else would notice that but me. And then this is the bull wheel, which technically should be below it because I used to have to shovel off above. Um, and it was always my nightmare to fall through it and just basically get like just your torso cut in half right there. So I'm like traumatized by most of the stuff in this scene. Um, and then there's one gondola that actually like right here on this one. We'll see if it goes through. Like when you are on a chairlift and it goes through these shivs, it actually is like bumpy, like bump, 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 and then you'll hear it too. This is the only one I added the animation because I was like, you know what, Canessa, nobody cares but you. But it actually is like bump, 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 and then that one actually stops. That's like a flaw in my animation. That's the only one that will stop right there. So you can geek out. I mean, I think the coolest thing is just build something you love because then, these details, like if somebody else came along and they're like, yeah, like I love that because it's like so perfect. Also the stickers, if you are a skier, you know that chairlift towers are just filled with like snarky stickers. People reach out. So I had to put some, don't follow me, I do stupid things. And then like Mount Mana, locals only. Um, Usually like the stickers are very like I don't know, they'll be very proud of their, your ski resort. CBD, looks like we're selling CBD. Caution, don't eat yellow snow. And snowboarding is not a crime, guys. I don't know. Maybe tensions have simmered, but when I was young, snowboarders were looked at like villains of the mountain, and everybody thought that like if there was a snowboarder, they're gonna break into your car. Now it's probably like old school mainstream, and they're like snowboarders are not like that, but I might have placed a few stickers around in my time. Okay, so that's about it. Thank you for bearing with me for the technical difficulties. I think for me it's really cool to see how things are built, especially the moving colliders. I think that that is a way like to add stuff to your scene without coding. I don't code. I did add the OP dispenser, but that's it. But you can do so much with those moving colliders to make this like to make your scene do stuff, like move the avatar. I don't know, like make it fun. Animation. I mean, we've got Issa here. Issa is the queen. She has taught me most everything. And then KJ helped me with like the moving colliders. Um, I think animation is the future, like for how we're gonna make Decentraland look alive. Like movement is life, and so um, let me know if you have any questions. I will do my best to answer them. I'm still learning, and I don't know everything. A lot of times I don't know much at all. But thank you so much for coming, you guys. Thank you for being everywhere with Winterfest. And today, might need to do some promo on this, but I'm like getting mixed up with the UTC times. But today it is Hayabusa's build, and I can see it right down there. So maybe we ought to jump to Hayabusa's after this. Actually, I should look at the event page. But thank you everybody for coming. If this is helpful, I hope it is. If it's too advanced, let me know. And then if you have questions, let me know as well. And we'll make sure that these help build you forward. And then if anybody is listening and they're like, yeah, cool, but I don't have anywhere to build, if you need land, we've got friends. We've got our friends, MetaWolf, Sinful, Oddjob, me. Like, there's a lot of people who will let you build on their land for free. So, that should never be something that stops you or slows you down. The OP badge, grab it right here. Click. I already got mine, so anyway, thank you so much for being here, you guys, and we'll join us for next week. Thank you. Bye. Join us for next week. Thank you. Bye.